Dudes, what's up? How you doing? We got this sweet Corvette here. We're going to be doing ceramic, 20% on all the sides and the rear. Just getting some final things set up here, and then we'll jump into it. And where's my... Let's switch this over. Then we should be good to go. That's it. All right, let's set up the camera and let's go. Let's go. Early. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be live, but it's a good time. It's actually a good time, so we'll do it. You got an easy one today? It's just the front doors are going to be the most tedious part of it. We're still going to take our time, make sure it looks good. Doing my 4th Elantra of the week. That's that good business, man. It's always nice when you get consistent. Or, like, you'll notice that certain areas you just get a bunch of certain things. For around here, it was like a ton of Rams. What percentage? We're doing 20. Can you do... Oh, can I do the photochromic tint on the front windscreen? Yeah, if you buy a big enough piece. I don't think it'll work, though, because it's UV. It works through, like, UV, so your windshield is going to have that laminate in between, and that blocks out a bunch of UV. Lost the clip. New Ram. Why are you taking apart? All right, I think we're good. Cool, that's it. All right, let's go. I guess we'll use a pen. So we need to latch these first. These windows, they shift up and down every time you open and close the doors. Many of you know this. Just some little round thing in the latch. Just trip the doors and then they'll roll up. Make sure you do not close them. The worst that'll happen is usually on this, it'll make a ding or like a boom because you literally latched it. So yeah, just don't do that. And then you'll be fine. All right, let's get our sprayer. Still kind of getting set up here. But, I mean, I've got time and I don't. My brother-in-law, he is in town. So he's going to be bringing his Ram in after. So we are going to get through this one. And I figured it wouldn't be a bad one to go live with, especially because I have the time to do it now. Hernano Ceramic is the best. I also recommend in Malaysia. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it too. SUV, no call, no show, keeping his deposit. He was a good friend. That's weird. Oh, yeah, we're right here. Some friend. Deposits have been really good, though. I'm very glad that I've done them. Saves a lot of those. Like, you know, it's one thing to fill up the schedule with supposed appointments. But, you know, that way you make sure they're real. But every once in a while, yeah. I've only had, I think, maybe 2 people at this point. I don't even have to call people more often than not. There's like the occasional person. There's the occasional appointment that doesn't show up, but just had my worst customer experience last night. Ooh, what happened? Tell us. All right, so we're gonna individually cut these. So I'm gonna trim this one off. I'm gonna bring it over to the other side. And then get that one all set up. Yes, that is ceramic. You know, I should keep this because we got quarter windows to do too, but I don't know. There we go. Yeah, we got those rear quarters to do. These ones I always have to like, you know, I don't think I've ever tried one of these with a camera on my head. They're like they're really simple quarter windows to do. You just kind of have to like get the right angle though. It's gonna be a little awkward with a camera. He got into an argument with his wife over his pet bird. Wasn't expecting that. My mind immediately goes to stuff about cars. I think I've only ever been at a shop one time when the cops were called. I feel like it should have been more. No, it was a couple times. We've had them called a couple times. I think there was one time I called them. My dad was in an all-out yelling match with a customer. Good God. Do you know what, to be honest, I don't remember. I was in the back and I just heard a ton of screaming. Traumatized. It likely was just overpricing or a job or something. Maybe overly. I'm not entirely sure. I forget. But sometimes, and this has happened even since then, like sometimes you just have that one person that like seems to be upset even from the beginning, and you're just kind of like, I don't even want to do the work if you're upset. Somebody tried to blame me for popping their tire. Ooh. Oh, that's usually just bad timing. Oh, I hate that. That's the worst. Let me change out this blade. That's terrible. Because you're, Usually happens driving around the parking lot or as soon as they leave. I've had that happen before. Actually, there's this one lifted truck. It was over at the glass shop. I pull it, like I walk outside, pull the truck in, and then we hear this big hissing sound. And he had like these big mudding tires, and there was no joke, a gigantic bolt that wedged itself into the wheel. We had the neighbors come and patch it though. That tire would have cost like $500. I did 95 Corvette about 6 months ago. Almost made me quit. The back window was no joke. Yeah, the 95 Corvette. So like, this is the simplest out of them that I know of. Honestly, I haven't had a C8. That wouldn't be the hardest one though. Not by any stretch. That's probably second easiest. So the 95 Vet or that range, I think that's the one with the hardware on the back. I've done a handful of them. They're not super fun to do. What knife are you using? So this is a simple plastic knife, but it's the blade that to me makes all the difference. This is a really sharp, high-end carbon steel blade, but what makes it special is it's thin. 313tint.com if you want to check them out. But so it's NT thin carbon blades. They're super nice. Good. A little more. Carbon blade doesn't scratch compared to stainless. No, they definitely do. They'll like 100% scratch. So I only save those for top edges. That's what it is for specifically. I've tried them and I've noticed little lines. So carbon steel is harder than glass. That's why it scratches. It's kind of the trick with it all. Stainless steel is a soft steel, or softer anyways. So it's got a similar hardness to the glass. So that's why you're at least less likely, but there's different grades of stainless, there's different grades of glass, so you can still definitely scratch the glass, especially when they dull out. Okay, so I'm gonna snap shrink this one, kind of. This really is, like, this window is pretty curved. Should just, like, dry shrink prep this thing. Some people, like, I've seen shrinking out the top and the bottom. It's just, when you can't press out the water, when you can't get rid of it, it keeps the film from shrinking. So you're kind of drying it out as you're shrinking it a little bit. It's more going back to like the old-fashioned way of doing it, but I still pick it up kind of like I snap shrink and I check it a lot when I make a little bit more progress. Then cart it down. Takes a little bit longer to do. NYC, they're charging $180 for 70%, $40 on the front and back. That sounds cheap. That's the thing about tinting. Your tint dudes need to make a living. So don't do it? Okay, well, here's the thing. You're not paying for just a film. You're paying for workmanship. And generally, people that undervalue themselves either don't care as much or just don't know. I don't know. But you can get a lot of sketch work. So they got to save money somehow. It's usually material. Material and quality is going to suffer too. There's just not enough time. But it's a toss-up. You might get a good job if you know people that already went there. I never recommend just shopping price. Like, find a shop or an installer that you like, and then just pay what they're asking. It's like a graphic designer, right? I don't know, and any quality work. Like, you're paying for a lot of things that you don't really realize. It's worth just getting it done right the first time. Okay, how do we peel this off? He just washed this, I feel bad. But I have to do what I have to do. Same thing with the mechanic. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a one thing that's, I mean, there's some positives, but there's a lot of negatives to it. So, like, when you're getting tint work done, let's put this here. Like, there's a lot of people that are, you know, you go to a Best Buy, you buy a phone, it costs this much, or you buy a laptop. When you get a deal on a particular, you know, a lot of places. When you get a deal on a good item, it's like, hey, you got a deal on a good item. That item's going to be the same in anybody else's store, and it's just what price can I get it at. But you shouldn't take that same mentality into like a service-based business. If you like, if you just are like, whatever, I'm pretty indifferent, then fine. That's okay. I'm that way about certain things too. But if you're looking for like, I want the best film at the cheapest price, it's like, well, the service, it counts more than the film than you're gonna get. That's not just like, oh, hi, how you doing? It's the quality of work that the installer does. If something goes wrong, will they take care of it? And if there's a problem down the road, will they take care of it too? But usually the initial install is the most important. I just had a guy call me this morning. He's got an older C6. Another Corvette. But it's a convertible. He just had it done at a local shop, isn't happy with the work, and now he wants me to redo it. What if you paid a lot, they did an awful job, and you don't want to go back? Yeah, that's unfortunate. Because just shopping an expensive price doesn't mean you're going to get a good job. But, I mean, it usually says a lot more about the shop. I mean, if they damaged your car, they should fix it. If the work just isn't that great, they're probably going to put more effort into it the second time around. Shops are still shops. But yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. Notorious in Livonia. I actually know them. I've been there. Frank. That was years ago, though. Nice people. Yeah, they do some crazy cool work over there, actually. I totally forgot that they existed. Yeah, I was like, worked there for a few days. We couldn't work anything out. They were talking like $300 a week. I was like, oh. I can't do much with that. It's like working fast food. This was years ago, though. DAP? Yeah, DAP was great. I really like that program. Do you game at all? Not really. I used to. I'd get more into like longer story RPGs, but there was only a handful of games. When it boiled down to it, like when I was younger, yeah. But there's this one game when I was really little called Monkey Island, and they just released a new one, which was kind of surprising. It's like this old 8-bit story game that somehow every once in a long while, like years, comes back in other shapes and forms, and just out of the blue, it's on Switch. So I was playing that a little bit. I just don't have a lot of time to do it, though. I think the last real game that I got into was probably like Destiny. That was fun. But that was like the co-op portion, not really the competitive side. What sprayer handle do you have? It's Sun Distributing. It's I think a T-Jet one. That's where you can find it. Good stuff. But it's a brass sprayer. The end, if it were to leak on a brass sprayer, just a little Teflon tape should fix it, like right in this area. I've had mine leak before, but it was on a different one. I've been thinking about getting a Steam Deck. Nice. This PC that I'm streaming on, I bought as a gaming PC. So it's like, it's gaming / editing. So, I mean, this is an archaic graphics card now, but it has a 980 Ti in it. And Ryzen Threadripper 1500X. Which was like was a good deal. I think it was like a $600 CPU when I bought it. It was like a year old. Whew, look at that. That looks good. Cool. Yeah, it looks good. Sick. Yeah, this looks good. All right, let's go to the other side and do that. What's the Halloween costume this year? I don't know. My wife wants to dress up with me and my son, so we'll do something. It's coming up. Oh my God. Hang on. Sorry. Everything just decided to, oh, it was just the monitors. Well, that's dumb. Okay. There we go. My sister's wedding is coming up at the end of the month, too. Oh, shit. I've got to do a couple things for that. Those green Detroit Tint Studio Squeegees are super nice. Thanks, man. Glad you like them. All right. Let's bring this down. Do you ever have somebody get super angry with you in person? Like a client? No, not here yet. I mean, sure, I've gotten into arguments with, like, work people, but... Yeah, no clients. Use it with the black Sunstoppers one. Oh, yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, that turned out super cool. Looks like they started doing a different style of printing on those things, too, which is cool. Really nice squeegees. Do you live down south? A lot of really bubbly back windows. That's where I'd see them mostly. So when we were in Texas or Florida, it was all over the place. We still get our fair share here. It's kind of a little, it's a little bit different though. Let me recut this. I mean, cars are getting sun exposure all year. It doesn't matter if it's a cloudy day or whatever, but it doesn't get as hot here. So, like, it doesn't hit quite as bad, but it still can definitely happen a fair amount. Oh, is that curving? Yeah. Yeah. We go one more time. There we go. I think I probably should have held it. Yeah, that's better. I've got the green one, green tri-edge and the pink one. It's really slick compared to my pink one, and the pink one is older than the green one, and it's been sanded. Which one's older? The green one's older, and the green one's been sanded, but it's still slicker. Okay, here's what's a little wild to me, but it's been it's worked out really well. So the green material is actually based on the yellow. Not many people use the yellows or give them a chance because they're the harder ones. So like even me, I don't typically go for hard squeegees. But when you actually use the green, pink is older than the green? Oh, okay. I gotcha. No, the green, though, it's based on the yellows, and it is just really, really slick. And a really nice hardness, too. I would typically buy the blues and the yellows, but that's before I even ever tried. Or the blues and the pinks, but that's before I tried the greens. The pinks is just a softer material. It's actually different. It's a little more expensive, too. But yeah, they're really, really nice. So he does say you're really not supposed to sand them either. He's got the Smooth It tool to help keep the edge nice. I don't know, some technical reason why. Something about the material itself. It's not really made for that. Will rear defrosters cause bubbles? No. No, blame the bubbles on bad tint. I would see some people say like, oh, that person overused their defrosters. It's like, okay, this is just like a user thing. I would never blame a client on failed window tint because they wanted to use a feature of their car. It's just like, yeah, use your car as much as you want. So this front edge goes, it basically does a sharp point right into the seal. So we're going far down there, so I'll over around those front corners because they go so far down. How are you live streaming right now? Through the magic of the internet. Can law enforcement or whatever come after you as a business? Depends on the state, but sure. Some states, like this is where you have to look at your own state laws. Figure out what you need to do. Like Texas especially, they require stickers. Or they'll give the shops real fat fines. Are you using a phone? Oh, no, I'm using a GoPro and HDMI transmitter that goes to my computer. There's a video on it, on the channel, that explains everything. I used to just do a GoPro direct to the PC, but there was a lot of quality and connection issues. So it's not made for that. But as a GoPro and a media mod with an HDMI transmitter, it's a whole setup. Thinking of buying a roll of Avery Dennison nano ceramic and doing it myself after the $400 mishap. After watching your channel for many years, I started feeling confident to do it. Just don't do Avery Dennison ceramic. Get somebody else's. You're not going to be happy with the clarity. What's the best tint to buy? It depends on your situation and what company you kind of gravitate towards. There's, like, I mean, from outside of it, it seems like film company, make film, I buy film. Well, there can be territories, there's price differences between the films, there can be minimum order quantities. You know, some won't roll down past 100 feet. So it kind of just depends on where you're at, which is one reason I really appreciate where Geo is, especially for this community. They're a top-tier film that'll sell to more people. Some people are not going to like that. Some people are going to be, I want a territory. I don't care. They're just in a different category. So, you know, branding goes a long way. You know what? I look at the window tint group on Reddit. Nobody ever mentions Geo. Nobody. It's all XPEL and Lumar and 3M. So that goes a long way. But as far as just pure films, I mean, I've got no issues with Geo at all. Geo go toe-to-toe with anybody. Have you tried SPF? Kind of. That's Solar Guard's. I think that's a super cool film line. A name for a film line. I've looked at it. You know, I've looked at it. I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, I know as much as Solar Guard had, and a few other film companies has done this since though. But it was like Solar Guard's, one of Solar Guard's lineups. Really nice naming scheme. I like it. I like SPF. That's cool. Oh, that? No, not that one. We're thinking about two different SPFs then. I don't know. It might be good film. I've got a hard rule against people putting bumper stickers on boxes. I get too sketched out at that. You know when somebody's saving money on boxes when they have those long rectangle stickers? Most of the time, those are bumper stickers. I was told this a long time ago. You want to save money on packaging for boxes? Get bumper stickers. How do you feel about double tinting? Should be fine. If you're doing it for a customer, it's gray. I've done it. I just give them a warning. So if like, hey, I don't know what's on here. I don't know when it might fail, but in case one of these peels, you're gonna have to pay to have me retint it, unfortunately. But it will save you a bunch of money on having me remove film right now. And blanket statement, they don't guarantee it, but it'll stick, and it'll be okay in most cases. It's just you might have that one unfortunate situation. But as long as everything's locked down right, you should be fine. Yeah, no warranty on layer jobs. Yep. Wouldn't make sense too. But I get it. Like, if I had a older car or whatever that was already tinted, or a shop did it and it was just too light, putting tint over it, I'd probably just say, yeah, sure. Otherwise, it's like stupid expensive. Or can be. But it's a stupid amount of work to fix it. We like vehicles that have never been touched before. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to figure out what the hell is going on with that. You see that monitor just go black? I have no idea why it does that. It just like disconnects, completely resets. Maybe it's the splitters going. It's goofy. Seems to be doing it more frequently now. It's just another thing I gotta figure out. All right, round 2. Yeah, that one's rough. Did a Lexus for somebody. Came in the next day because he wanted it darker because his interior was light. Tan interiors ruin everything. I mean, especially if you don't, like, even with a 15, you don't necessarily want to just jump down to 5. But yeah, the right tan interior will just make your 20% look super light. Really unfortunate. So sometimes this is where I say always go out and look at the car. Which I realized I didn't do that with this one. I feel like I'm too tall for this. Oh yeah, I know what I did last time. I gotta come down here. These windows, they curve up so much so you can't get a good look at the top edge without being on the ground here. Just gonna butt this up as close as I can. Nice. That looks good. Yeah, tan interior is no fun. There we go, I think, right? We're not over. Still slip sliding. It's good. Gives me time to get this in place. Whew. That is clean. Good. Still in the same spot, right? All right, and then we'll take care of this corner once it dries. Almost a white like the Tesla. Ooh, yeah, that too. Because it's like, it's unfortunately the illusion of the seats. It's still the same shade, but it's reflecting a lot more light. And it's amazing how much your like mind tricks you when you see dark interior with even a 50% on the windshield. You like feel like the car's so much darker when it's really not. And pair that with like the windshield is angled up at the sky. So when you're looking at it, especially on like a lightly cloudy day, it always seems like it's way darker. It reflects all those clouds, and then it gives you the illusion of a little added privacy, more so than just like 50% on your front doors, I think would do. Damn. Okay, so I'll be honest, every time that I spend too long from doing one of these, I always get a little nervous. And I almost didn't want to stream because like I always have to see like the final result of doing those door windows to again give me like a confidence boost in doing these door windows again. I'm always like, I want to be extra particular about these top edges here because this is like the staple on this car, right? Like as far as windows goes. The rest of it is straightforward, but these front doors, you see them every time you open up. They're frameless. They got this wild curve, and they're just very rounded. So making sure everything just lines up as perfect as you can. I'm always like, ah. But then I just do what I do, and then check it over afterwards. I'm like, ah, whew, good, sick. It looks really good. What percent? This is 20. So we're doing 20 on all the sides and the rear. We might do the windshield at a later date. He just wanted to see all the sides and drive around with it for a little while before doing the windshield. which I think I've done a handful of these. Oh yeah, not too bad. They're like, yeah, I have done a handful of these. They're a little funny with, so when you're doing the windshield, you see how high this comes? It's not as bad as the Camaros, but the dash kind of comes up here. Your windshield slopes down here, and then you've got this mirror housing in the way. So it's a little awkward to get that all unrolled right. Gives you room around the edges, which is nice. But as for everything else, it's going to be not as fun. But we're doing all the sides of the rear, so hard part's done. Let them dry out. What time is it? Oh, cool. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing real good. We get a ticket here with 20. So it just depends. I mean, this car definitely is not something that blends in with traffic. But some people appreciate a nice looking car, and it's just like, when you own one of these, like, how would you not tint the front doors what you want? I would do 20 on the front doors. It's just a sporty looking car. It's fun to drive. And maybe he's got a doctor's note. I don't know. All right. So the other fun part about this is essentially going to have to climb into it to get at these quarters, because you can't really get at it with these seats in the way. Kind of. And then they like angle down. So there's all this paneling right here. I'll show you. There we go. Let's get some 20 on this. What are we gonna use? Probably this. Wonder if I can get both out of them. I think the secret is just don't be super dark, like you're trying to hide. Yeah, that's part of it. So if it kind of like 20 on the sides, because it's like a lower car. Oh, and he's got red seats on it too. So like that'll help. It'll be a good balance, I think. But if he was doing like 35 on the windshield, then yeah, that's gonna look especially dark. But he's thinking about 50 or 70. I'd go for 50. There's one. And then two. Oh yeah, these are tiny. What? Do you match factory tint with no tint? You don't? Oops. There we go. Just that little guy. I'm not worried about that little guy. Cool. Quarter windows. Oh, state inspection will fail people for any tint. Yeah. There's some states like Pennsylvania, New York. You can't do anything. I've heard you have to found certain inspection stations, and there'll be a fee. But there's certain places that'll do it. I don't know who they are. I'm just going off of what people told me. But it's kind of like a crazy problem, right? If there was like a one state inspection place for everybody to go to, they would never be able to get through all the cars. So it makes sense that they have approved state inspection places. And then it just takes somebody that, like, you know, getting little spiffs on the side there. I go for 35 on the front, 15 on the sides, but I'm from the Philippines, so rules are non-existent. That's true. Your traffic is crazy enough. Hey, I think that's a great look, though. I don't like to go as dark as 5 on my front doors. 20 or 15 is a great look. 35 on a windshield, I think, is also great. Yeah, some places, like, I mean, there's not even traffic lights in certain places. all the mopeds and scooters nearly getting plowed over by, like, a super big bus. Jesus Christ, it was scary. I swear we probably killed 5 people. Oh, let me get another towel. I'm going to put it over the side here. So I get this little hose. So I'm going to block this area off. That way I can put this hose up over here. We can get at that. Oh my God, never leave a heat gun on a hose. That's when we get some leaks. All right, razor blade. Where did I put them? It's been a mess here. I gotta have Jack clean this up, because I don't do it. I start to, and then I get distracted. I know my razor blades are here. Good morning. What's up, man? The state inspection stations here will fail you for tint. Oh, yeah. All right, let's climb up here. So one thing about the Corvette, you have a little bed back here. Put that there. I'm going to take my belt off. And then I'm also going to treat this. I also like to treat these like a boat. Take my shoes off. Because what I'm going to have to do is essentially like climb back here. Ugh. And then get at this little spot in here. Just a little bit awkward. You can't really like lean over and do it. Are the squeegee handles sold out? Yeah. Yeah, we'll get new ones here in a little while. In a little bit, like a month, I think. Ah!
Eat Drive Lift Super Chatted $1.68. Have a great day today.
I think that might be my first peso super chat. Thank you. Dude, that's so cool. I appreciate that a lot. So my wife's Filipino. We're going back in December. That's like $2, depending on the exchange rate. Oh, I should cut more of these. Damn it. I got a bigger speck here. Yeah. Let me recut this. I'm going to cut another one out. They're real quick and easy to do. It's kind of a crapshoot with quarters. Sometimes they turn out great. They usually turn out great. Every once in a while, you get that one little speck. Probably from the way that I picked it up. But they're simple enough to redo, so we'll get out of the boat. Eat, drive, lift. Eat, drive, lift. Thank you so much. For the 99 pesos. There we go. I guess we're gonna have to cut off a new roll anyways. You should take off the top of the windshield at least. Oh my God. You're right. How have I never thought of that? Do the tops come off of all of them, or is it just certain models? I've seen that 100 times, and I guarantee you I've tinted a couple of the windshields and never thought to take the top off. You're 100% right, though. Holy shit. How have I never put those together? All of them come off. Wow. Duh. That's one of those, like, I definitely should have known that. And I feel like deep inside I did know that. But I would, when I'm doing the windshield, I would 100% just forget. That's cool, man. I like how they made this car. Because, like, I'll look for those body lines, too. You know, like the Audi with the super big hatch that doesn't look like it's going to be a hatch. Just there's certain cars like that. Like some convertibles, when they're made, they're obviously convertibles. And then there's some other ones that are very low-key. That's a super nice thing to do. You do the hard top that comes off, and it just looks as good as one piece. I like that. So yeah, if we do the windshield, I definitely will. Okay, I'm just gonna cut a couple of these because I'm gonna have to climb back in, and we're gonna do the same thing. We got 2, which means it'll probably only take us 1 shot, but hey, who's counting? Look at Matt's impression of a plotter. A much worse hand plotter on a flat surface. All right, let's get back to this again. Should be good. Oh, just sitting in a Corvette. Can you guys even see this? Beautiful. That one turned out better. Oh my God, no it didn't. What the fuck? That's a little hair? Is that what that is? Just teeny tiny little fuzzball? Oh, I'm glad I cut out 2 then. How does that happen? Alright, one more time. Cool. Gives me an excuse to use the other one. It wasn't... It wasn't the door windows that were difficult. It was the quarter windows all along. Do one more. Crazy. That one went in there really well. Third time. There, let's start this out a little lower. Raise it up. All right, I think we're golden here. Yeah, no kidding. Jesus. Much better. Whew. How do you feel about AutoZone tint? AutoZone is like buying off of Amazon or eBay. It's like, it's just sketchy quality. It's probably like buying lumber from Home Depot. It's like, it looks like wood to me. But you talk to somebody that actually works with wood and they'll tell you 100 things wrong with it. It's fun to, like, it'll work and it's fun to play around with, but it's just for the hobbyist. You get a little bit, you play around with it, and, you know, you'll learn a lot. And then after that, you get into some real films. All right, I'm gonna plot out one more of these before I go in here. Look at that plotter cut in action. High quality there. It's the quietest plotter you've ever heard. We're gonna put these in there. Same thing, we're just gonna flip sides. Sounds like a plotter from Alibaba. Did we just ruin our patterns? No, we didn't. We almost did, though. We grabbed both towels together. That was a mistake. You guys heard those? There's like a couple channels, like I finally found a video. So the cheaper plotters use So there's stepper motors, and then there are, God, what's the other one called? Servo motors? The workhorse plotters are really quiet because they use the better motor. I think it's the stepper motors. They're like super loud. They sound like the old printers and stuff because that's probably what they used. Need a sprayer. All right, we're going back in. Going back in. What tint brand are you using? GeoShield. All those boxes right there. We can set these right there. What's the difference between ceramic and non-ceramic? The non-ceramic tint doesn't have ceramic in it. He's got jokes. All right, cool. One more time. See what I mean? It's such an awkward window to get to. So, ceramic. Ceramic blocks out more heat. That's the main thing. So, all the window films, basically think of them like they're filters. They filter light. They filter heat. Well, filter / absorb, right? Filter or block. So you can break it down really simply. A regular film is not going to block out hardly any heat. A ceramic film is going to absorb a lot of that heat and it's going to dissipate off the car. So people in southern states obviously value that a little bit more times in the year, but here it's still definitely a nice thing. We get hot summers, and ceramic's one of those things that, like, it's funny. Once you start driving with it, you don't want to drive without it. Ugh. How long should a good tint last? I mean, you can't say definitively, but if I got 7 to 10 years out of the film, I'd be really happy with it. Probably. You don't even want to think about it. You put a nice film on a car, it should last as long as you have the vehicle. Like when we're talking like 10 years down the road, like it's hard for anything to last 10 years. So, but warranties will cover all of that. So, if you get your windows tinted somewhere, especially a reputable place, right? You need them to be around for 10 years to fix the work. Or you carry a film that has a nationwide warranty and they have like a support system, right? So if something goes wrong and the shop's no longer in business, somebody else fixes it. Number 2. Good God. There we go, like that. All right, we're gonna just hunker down here. Yes. Looks like we got one. So as far as like what film should you get, how much should you pay, like pricing's always going to vary based on where you're at, but there's no like set price. It's just like you can call around, you can kind of figure out what an average is, but really you should find a couple of shops that you find, at least one shop that you like, and talk to them. Do a little research, and then cross your fingers that they do a good job. As far as like nitpicking the films that they carry, that's always like it's a branding thing, man. A reputable shop's gonna carry a good film. They're gonna have some good options. I think some films nowadays, though, come with a little more status, it seems. What shoes you wearing? I'm wearing the ultimate new dad shoes. They're Skechers. They slide on, no laces, and they're super comfy. I have like, what, 4 or 5 different pairs at home now. What's up, Matt? I sometimes get water bubbles in my side windows after I squeegee it multiple times. And I use a napkin over a soft card. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the water bubbles. So what you do is you give it a good squeegee. You can squeegee it twice. So once to get most things out, and then just give it a nice firm pass. And then as it's drying, that water's gonna it's gonna condense together into little water beads. It's gonna evaporate out. So you can try it on like your own car. Just do one door and watch the drying process. Like you don't have to sit there and try and squeegee every micro ounce of water. So there'll be, like for the first day especially when it's cooler weather, you'll notice like some discoloring and those like water blisters or water pockets. So like on the outside, it won't look quite even. Just let it dry. The stuff that won't go away are dirt specks and air bubbles. So like the bright white stuff, or if it's a crease and it's full of water, it'll dry out and then leave a bunch of air behind. So you're always gonna watch out for that type of stuff. But as long as the window looks good, it'll dry out fine. It'll just take a little bit of time to do it. That's all. I should probably put a couple more down. I will. I'm just gonna get this all prepped, ready to go first. So like, what's crazy is these quarters will look black, and then I'll look over here and there'll be a white towel, and then all of a sudden you like can see right in. Part of that's the roof. Once we darken up the roof, that towel won't be as bright, but, you know, dark interiors versus light interiors, back to that. All right, there's this. Now, what was crazy about this back window is that Chevy went in just the complete opposite direction. They took the most round back window, and then they just made it flat. Whoever did that, thank you. Tips for tinting outdoors. I don't have a garage. Get a garage. I don't have really any good outdoor tips because I would never tint outdoors. There's some people in the Facebook groups that'll do it, but you need to go somewhere where there's essentially like minimal wind and you're also in the shade. So like a garage. As long as you're indoors, you can make a lot work. Because like a slight breeze is going to want to rip the tint right off your window. See, like what is up with my monitors, man? Trigger sprayer or pump up? Ooh. I mean, I still like the Poly 2s. I think they're awesome. Definitely worth getting. I always like something that I don't have to, like the trigger sprayer, you're constantly doing this all the time. But I would get the pump one and then go buy a Zep bottle too, because it's like $3 or $4. And then try both of them. Or the other one that you mentioned. The other one would be fine too. All I ever knew was the Poly 2s. But as soon as I got a keg, it didn't matter if I was doing a set of doors. I was using a keg. I just don't put much water in it. You're doing the windshield? No, we're doing the sides and the back. Windshield might be on another day. All right, let's that dry out, and then we'll throw some film on it. What's up, man? Do you do anything to prep those seagull-looking matrix dots? No. No, nothing beyond the usual. I mean, it's such a wide area. So, like, and it's annoying because it reverses. So, God, it's the Corvette flags, man. Now they look like seagulls. Caw-caw. So, like, these lower ones, but then where it changes, there's not much you can do. And then my, why? What is, oh, okay. That just did a thing. Sorry about that. Are there any good cheap plotter softwares? Plotter Depot? Tint software? I forgot what the keyword was. Anyways, go to plotterdepot.com. Film cut. It's going to be $85 a month. That's as cheap as it gets. Oh yeah, we need to grab the other one. Yeah, there aren't any plotter softwares out there for tint patterns that don't require a monthly subscription. And so the idea here is like, well, why do I got to pay monthly? That sounds expensive. Whenever you get into business tool softwares, they always cost money. It's just like, why does my internet cost 3 times more here than at home? It's the same speeds. That's because it's business. But good news for window tint patterns is that they're always coming out with new cars. They have to constantly make new patterns. It's not like they get a template from the dealership and then they've got the patterns in the database. They literally have to pay somebody to do that or source them from other tinters and keep up to date and whatnot. But yeah, it's business software. There's always a higher price. You make money from it. Where like with a vinyl software, it's a little different because you can, you know, just type in some letters and print them out. Cars are manual work to input everything, make sure that they're up to date. And it's not like a Netflix subscription where we can all share. Go to the other side. This is just stay here. This is the shorter side. Easiest window to shrink. Yeah, alongside the Camaro or the Challenger. Or a truck. Wow, that list got longer than I thought. Have you ever tinted the back window on a Mazda RX-8? No, I've actually never had an RX-8 in the shop. Yeah, it does. It's got some funky quarters, too. I'd love to do one. I've just never had one. Thought they were cool cars. Just never had one. All right. We got that in. Let's cut it out. Clean it up. What time is it? Which car? Boom. Boom. Let's touch up these edges. And then we'll get this installed. Have you ever done flat glass? There's more money in it too. One time, and yeah, there's definitely more money in flat glass. But I like my studio too much. I get asked about it occasionally too. I've actually had not an insignificant amount of calls about it. I just say, no, I don't do it. Guess we'll just put this here. I mean, it's a choice, either video or flat glass. I choose video. When did you hire somebody? Because it's more work. I don't want to work. It's not insignificant to try and find a good tinter that you trust to carry your name. Oh. Well, I guess we threw that out anyways. But yeah, it's not an insignificant more work and more money. So, you guys think I just sit here all day and tint one car? I've got enough work. I'd be stretched too thin trying to do flat glass. I have very little experience as a delegator, I'd say. I usually take on a lot of stuff myself. So I've got enough things on my plate right now where I don't feel like trying to get into a whole nother business. But I hear ya. It'd be more money. But I know tinters. And tinters are flaky. It would be easier to grow a flat glass crew as a business, but that's assuming I want it. No. It's nice to have that option, though. And by not an insignificant amount of calls, it's like, it's not once a week. It's like once every, I don't know, here and there I get a phone call about it, but it's like it would start up. Matt's in it for the fun, not the money. I'll tell you, having that balance between fun and business, that's how I do. I have fun growing business. What? Shop I work at is about to do a commercial job for $200K for the Renaissance Center. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Get it. I'm good though. I'm fine where I'm at right now. I mean, I've got my own house windows that I'm going to have to tint, and I'll probably do a video. One thing I hate is logistics of going from one place to the next and setting up, and that's like all flat glass is. You're going in people's homes, you're making sure furniture's clear, you're making sure you're not dragging in stuff and ruining their homes, and you have enough space to work and all that fun stuff. How do I do these? That's just stuff I just don't want to think about. So, yeah, hire somebody to do it, then I got to go find somebody to do it. Then I got to keep them busy. Then I schedule a job and he doesn't show up, and then I got to go do it myself or find somebody else. Like, these are all problems I just don't want to deal with right now. That's how I do those. See the little shoulder bump? I don't like flat glass, but where I'm at, they have contracts with Ford. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. How about you guys do that? How about you guys see that business opening and you get after it? I'm good. I've got a lot of things. We'll let you guys knock out all the houses. But yeah, so a little bit about flat. Most people charge anywhere from $8 to $15 a square foot. So that's literally you measure the glass and you multiply 8 times square foot. And that's how you get your like rough pricing. So yeah, you know, when somebody calls you with a little easy project, you can make good money doing it. It's definitely well worth the time. And I used to hear, Patrick, he worked with a flat glass company. And so all day, like, I mean, they'd have guys going out doing flat glass jobs. Their automotive side of the business was maybe a couple $100,000 a year. But their flat glass side of it was over $2 million that year. So they didn't give a shit about their auto side. Their auto side was just like, oh yeah, we get a lot of questions about cars, so we probably should do that along with all the flat glass business. Yeah, get into flat. There's some films, like cloaking film, where they charge $70 a square foot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's like the smart films. I've seen like these really interesting... Okay, so I think I know how they work. There's like these polarized films that basically go on the interior. So like, let's say an office room is having a presentation. It makes the TVs look like they're turned off. So when they're walking by, like if they're having a sensitive meeting, nobody can just see what's on the monitors. But they don't have to tint the office windows and stuff. Or they don't have to like darken them up or frost them. That's a real cool thing. Yeah, that's the cloaking stuff. Oh, okay, yeah. Super cool. But yeah, expensive material, good work, makes good money. Everybody gets into auto, I think, because it's like it's the easier path to go. Like the work is harder to do though. So like there's a lot more competition, I think, in the auto space than there is flat, because it's like, what do I do? Do I go to people's houses and just start knocking on doors? Well, if you already have an auto business, the best way, like this makes perfect sense. The best way to build up a flat glass business when you have an auto is just advertise to the clients that you already tint that you also do houses. You also do houses, commercial spaces, stuff like that. Somebody will bite. So if you're thinking about doing it, yeah, 100%. Get into it. Sun Distributing just pulled in some flat glass film too. They could probably tell you more about it than, they could tell you way more about it than me. I've always worked on cars. And then I've set up my whole studio thing for cars. So I'm gonna keep doing that. I've got 313tint.com, and I'm just having fun making videos, doing things for that, and tinting cars here. That's my jam. There's always more ways that you can make money, but learned a handful of years ago, staying very focused on certain things that I wasn't staying focused on. It's causing them to suffer, so I'm gonna keep my focus on those for now. Them damn seagulls. Yeah, I'm trying to make them look as nice as I can. Seems like I'm doing a pretty good job, though. Just trying to fill them up, make them all look as even as I can. It's actually pretty damn good. Did my first home and local courthouse, and man, all I want to do now. Great payday, but a bit more of a headache than doing a car. Cool. What was a headache about it? Is it just like bidding the job, going out there, measurements, like back and forth, that kind of stuff? That's like the soul-sucking part of it that I just don't want to deal with. Like, so we had some pavers done on my house, and like other construction jobs too. They come out, they measure, they bid. That's just part of it. And it was hot and sunny, and like, you know, he's answering my questions, but it's like he doesn't even know if we're gonna choose them. But it's something they have to do, right? They have to go around and do all this work, measure everything, stuff like that. Really, really nice guy, really nice people, of course. Just part of the job. Yeah, I'm not about doing that. Very happy in my cave. $10 trips in total for it? Oof. Yeah. Looking forward to have my plotter installed. Oh, nice. Very cool. That'll be a happy day. Keep the... So I posted a video on Facebook about setting up your blade. You only need to make sure it's poked out a little bit. Start with light pressure and start working up. If you start at like 35 grams of pressure and work your way up till it starts cutting through the film, if you go all the way up to like 70 grams of pressure, 70 or 80, then chances are you just need to put a little bit more blade out and then back it off back to the beginning and start again. Always start with a little bit of blade pressure because it's way too easy to put too much out and just rip through a bunch of film and have a super bad day. What's this squeegee? This is the hybrid. 313tint.com. It's awesome. It's seriously, it's my favorite. It's so a lot of people look at this and they go, "Ooh, Orange Crush Blue Max." No, it's a completely different feeling squeegee. You see that? Here, let me see if I can see that little sheen of the orange side. The Orange Crush doesn't do that. I really like the squeegee. All right, a little bit of touch up, and we'll be good. That went nice. We had to do a couple of quarter windows a few times, you know. Yeah, no problem. Just trying to take any bright spots out of it that I see. Should dry out pretty damn good though. Yeah, so I keep it on one side for a long time until, like, this is how little I really care about one side or the other. It works really well until it starts wearing out some, you know, from scraping over the top edge and whatnot. It lasts a really long time until, you know, you need to sharpen it up or something. But, like, I don't really care orange side, blue side. Just the material of the squeegee is awesome. So I use it pretty much until one side wears out, and then I'll just flip it over and use the other side till it wears out, and I'll get another one. Sometimes I flipped it around because people ask about it, but I really don't even think about it. More often than not, I just leave it. Damn. How do you sharpen them? I've got a vise and a bracket right here. So I've got kind of an example one here. What I do is, see like this sliver right here? I have this vise and a bracket, and I literally poke a little blade out, or a little of the squeegee blade out, and and you get like a nice, super clean cut. You just use your squeegee blades longer. The material's good throughout. So as long as I can keep it going, I still, like, I say this every time, I still have to try, what's it called, sandpaper? Because there's guys that like sandpaper in their squeegees. Just use like really, really fine sandpaper. Have a Ford C-Max I'm supposed to be doing in about an hour. Nice. That's a pretty straightforward car. That's a lot like the Escape. Oh, okay. So the red dot, I used to use that for the top edges until I tried a cheesy little plastic knife, and cheesy little plastic knife worked great. Reason being, like, you can still do a perfect edge with a red dot. What I've noticed with the red dot, though, is like you can put a little groove in your tint, like from the metal pushing against it. Oh no, I'm being robbed. Hi. Hi. What's up, mama's boy? How you doing? No, you can't come in here. Bye. So the, what were we talking about? It's my son. His name is Lucas. And my wife. Oh, with coupes, like Mustangs, Challengers, Corvettes, etc., how do you get the tint not to peel by the edges when you close the door and roll up? So you don't want to overlap them. You can get them as tight to the top without overlapping. He wants to tint. He wants to get behind the wheel here. That's what he wants to do. Ah. He really likes steering wheels. But you know, something about him putting his shoes on the seats. Probably not ideal. There we go. It's good. Do this just a little more. Yeah, like I used the red dot for everything too, and it still is the best tint knife. Like period. I've tried a few different NT ones. So like there's some with a bigger handle, so that's more ergonomics. But as far as the ends go, I've tried some. What are they? Olfa knives. The ends are just completely different. They're not as refined. Like they're not as good. So the red dot, what's special about it is that the blade doesn't, like the holder doesn't come very far past the blade. Where I'll show you on like the Olfa ones. So this is by NT. Look at this. Look at this. See the difference between those ends? The red dot doesn't stick out as far. So what was happening is, let's say I have my blade poked out this far, and I want to get a low angle at the glass. All of a sudden, that blade holder is scraping against the tint, where with the red dot, it's not. So there's little differences like that are really crazy. So highly recommend the red dot. So I use that for all my cutting on the sides, the bottom, back glasses. And then I just found that when you use like a cheap plastic knife, you can press that holder right against the glass. And then I found these really thin NT blades. So I use that along with the plastic holder. And I don't know, let's look at it. I think this one turned out pretty freaking good. So, yeah, I've been really happy with it. Alrighty. Well, let me close this one up. Probably have just a little bit more touch-up to do. Yeah, I'm gonna let these dry just for like a little bit longer. So that's the other thing about these is the bottom always stays wet. So I tuck them down pretty far and I try and just give them a little opportunity to dry longer. So I'll sometimes heat up the doors, let them sit. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit to close these up, but it's all wrapped up as far as tinting goes. Turned out really, really nice. So we're gonna mostly close these. We're gonna leave them hanging open a little bit though. All right, what do you think? I think it turned out pretty good. So that's 20% on all the sides and the rear. Whew. It's nice. It's really nice. All right. 12:30. Canon. All right. Whew. Good stuff. C7 or C8. I like the what they did with the C8. I mean, everybody that's seen that car that doesn't know what a Corvette is like, is that a Ferrari? The design is awesome. I still love the styling on this car, though. It was such a good change from the C6. What's the oldest car you ever tinted? Like a 70s station wagon. I think I have a video, like old video. It's like a 60s Ford Falcon or something like that. I've done some old cars. They're not fun though. Especially when they're being restored. Alrighty, I'm gonna have to take off here, but I want to give a big thank you to Eat, Drive, Lift for the 99 PHP. Thank you. That was really nice. Alrighty, guys. I don't know. So we got stuff scheduled for next week. I don't have anything on Monday, but I have somebody kind of on the fence about Monday, so we might be back on Monday. Thank you for the order. That was nice. Can you do a review on, you can ask in the Facebook group. I don't typically do film reviews because I don't have a good way to test them. Like I do basically like looking at it and see how it feels. Like Scorpion just sent me some film. I don't know how to review it really though. Because most people's films are gonna do okay, look fine, shrink good. So like, they're fine. It just get them yourself, see how you like it, see how you like the company, put it on your cars, and see if you would install on your customers' vehicles. Would you recommend tinting while the glass is out? Actually, no. So like on a classic car, if you could set it so it's like vertical, yeah. But if you have anything like laying down, I swear it turns out way dirtier than just up on a car. It's crazy. Daddy's car rule, no feet on the seats. It's fine on mine. I don't care. But on this one, yeah, we're going to say no. It's not my car. See, it is crazy. A friend of mine got his like 3 days ago. Nice, very cool. Yeah, they did a sick job on that. All right, my dudes. I got to take off. Thank you so much for hanging out today. You have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye.